Good evening to those listening. It's March 21st, 2026, 10:28 p.m. And this is more Bible changes in the King James Version and the NIV, Luke chapter 2. So we're going all the way to verse 6. And there were set there 6 water pots of stone. Water pots, not so sure about. Pitchers, maybe? After the manner of the purifying of the Jews, containing 2 or 3 firkins. Firkins apiece. Look at how ridiculous the NIV is. Nearby stood 6 stone water jars. Water jars. The kind used by the Jews for ceremonial washing, each holding from 20 to 30 gallons. It just so amazes me how people can't see these changes. How do you not see these changes? Like they had gallons, the word gallons, back in Jesus' time. Verse 7, Jesus saith unto them, fill the water pots with water. And they filled them up to the brim. Not to the rim, but to the brim. Like, fill it to the rim with brim. Remember that coffee commercial? Believe it or not, the NIV says the same things. Fill the jars with water. So they filled them to the brim. Watch all the contradictions in verse 8, unless the same person is being talked about. But it sounds like they're talking about 2 different people, as you will see. Verse 8, and he saith unto them, draw out now, and bear unto the governor of the feast, and they bear it. And then, verse 9, when the ruler of the feast, are these 2 different people? The governor and the ruler of the feast? Had tasted the water that was made wine, and knew not whence it was. And then in parentheses, but the servants which drew the water knew, wink, wink, emoticon, the governor of the feast called the bridegroom. So now it's who are these separate people? Some bad English in verse 10. And saith unto him, every man at the beginning doth, that's another word, set forth good wine. And when men have well drunk, then that which is worse. What? I know the good wine and then the cheaper wine, which is exactly what it says in the NIV. And said, everyone brings out the choice wine first, choice wine, and then the cheaper wine, after the guests have had too much to drink, but you have saved the best till now. Verse 12 in the King James. After this he went down to Capernaum, and he and his mother and his brethren and his disciples, and they continued there not many days. NIV sounds right. There they stayed for a few days. Verse 15 in the King James, and when he had made a scourge of small cords, it's supposed to be a whip, but scourge, and we know what scourging means. He drove them all out of the temple, and the sheep and the oxen, and poured out the changers' money, and overthrew the tables. 15 in the NIV, so he made a whip of cords, okay, that's better, and drove all from the temple courts, both sheep and cattle, and scattered the coins of the money changers, and overturned their tables. 16, and it said unto them that sold doves, take these things hence, make not my father's house an house of merchandise? Den of thieves. It used to be den of thieves. 16 over in the NIV, to those who sold doves, he said, get these out of here! Exclamation point. Stop turning my father's house into a market. What kind of market? A supermarket? What's going on here? Here's a question for everybody. Verse 20 in King James. Then said the Jews 46 years. Does anybody remember the number of years? Maybe it might not be a change. Was this temple and building, and wilt thou rear it up in 3 days? Rear it up? You know, that's how they say when you're raising a kid that you're rearing them up. So is the temple a child now? 17 in the King James, and his disciples remembered that it was written, the zeal of thine house hath eaten me up. Wow. 17 in the NIV, his disciples remembered that it is written, zeal for your house will consume me. Sorry, I went back there. So the 20 in NIV for this, they replied, "It has taken 46 years to build this temple." And then this part is right, and you're going to raise it in 3 days. Verse 23 in the King James. Now when he was in Jerusalem at the Passover in the feast day, many believed in his name. Believed in his name? But they didn't believe him. They just believed his name. They didn't believe in Jesus. They believed just in his name when they saw the miracles which he did. NIV also says, and believed in his name. Verse 24, but Jesus did not commit himself unto them because he knew all men, and needed not that any should testify of man, for he knew what was in a man. So what is that saying exactly? It said many believed in his name, which I'm sure was supposed to be believed in Jesus, but now he says Jesus didn't commit himself to them. Why? If people believed in him, why would he not? And over in NIV, it says, but Jesus would not entrust himself to them. So why wouldn't Jesus do that? For he knew all people. He did not need any testimony about mankind, for he knew what was in each person. So as you can see again, Bible changes, King James Version, the NIV is getting a lot of them too, and it's just amazing. It's amazing that some people can't see it or they just ignore it, which I don't know how you can ignore some of the stuff when you, especially if you really know the Bible. You used to say den of thieves, and now it's house of merchandise. Eating me up. What? Weird changes in the Bible, for sure. And I just pray that people can have their eyes open to see the changes and not just read the word and believe what's in it now because it's changed. Thanks for watching. God bless.